Hey, what's up YouTube? Brian Fagioli here with another unboxing. And today I have one of the most exciting routers in a long time. This is from Linksys. It's the WRT1900ACS. So this is the follow-up to the very popular 1900AC. So this is the ACS. That little S means that it has a faster processor, double the RAM, and it has no longer has a fan, so it's silent operation. This particular router is really exciting because it's open source ready, so Linksys wants you to tinker with this router, install alternative firmwares for it. So very, very cool. As you can see here, it is N600 plus AC1300, dual core 1.6 gigahertz CPU, very cool. Let's see, it does dual band, of course. Modern routers, it does 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz bands. Beamforming, it has a USB 3.0 port, which is good for adding external storage, like a USB enclosure with a hard drive, or connecting potentially a printer, used as a print server. It has 4 gigabit ports. It says performance antennas. As you can see, there's 4 antennas here. And like I said earlier, it's open source ready. Alright, let's look at the rest of the box here. Specifications. We have 1 gigabit WAN, 4 gigabit LAN ports. That's pretty standard nowadays. A USB 3.0 port, a eSATA port, which is cool, / USB 2.0 port, so it looks like it does both. 4 external dual band antennas, and I like external antennas that are detachable. If the antenna breaks, you can of course replace it, or if you just want to replace it with better antennas, you can do that too, although I don't think that would really be necessary in this case. Memory, there's 128 megabytes of flash, but there's an insane amount of RAM. It's 512 megabytes of DDR3 RAM, which is a lot for a router. What else? So LEDs for power, internet, blah blah blah. Okay, so 802.11a and G, of course, 54 megabits per second. 802.11n on the 2.4 gigahertz band can go up to 600 megabits per second. 802.11ac on the 5 gigahertz band can do up to 1.3 gigabits per second. Very cool. So it does WPA2 personal enterprise for encryption. It supports FAT, NTFS, and HFS Plus for storage file system support. I would expect it to say ext4, especially since it's kind of like it's being kind of billed as like this open source Linux friendly router. So it may do ext4 as well, even though it's not listed on the box. It's certified for Mac, Windows 7, and Windows 8. Windows 10 isn't listed, nor is Linux, but of course, this is a router. It'll work with pretty much any operating system. Okay, so which router is right for you? Shows you some comparisons, this versus the lesser powerful 1200AC. This one obviously is just better processor, dual, it has quad antennas, just a better all-around router. Let's see what else we have here. Smart Wi-Fi with network map, so it looks like there's an app here. View your network and device status at a glance. Monitor and control internet access by device. You can, of course, create guest Wi-Fi and access content on an attached storage device. Like I said earlier, you can connect a USB 3.0 hard drive or even a flash drive and share files between your house. And on this side, it just kind of shows, shows some pictures of the router. So, without further ado, let's see. Mr. C3PO, don't nod at me. Should we unbox this router? Yes? Okay, you're shaking your head yes. Alright, we're going to go ahead and unbox it. Bottom of the box, I cut this off here. It had like the MAC address and the serial number and stuff, so I took that off. So just to let you know what we're getting out of the box here, it says the router itself, a quick start guide, a CD-ROM, 4 antennas, an Ethernet cable, and a power adapter. Okay. Whoa. Alright guys, this is where it gets exciting. There's the classic blue Linksys router. Awesome. So I'm going to take that out of the box here. I'm just going to put it to the side for a moment. And let's see what we have in here. So we have the quick start guide. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, I could show that. So it gives you a wireless network, so in this case Linksys 04901, and a wireless password. So basically, rather than ship, I like this, rather than ship an unprotected router, they've protected it from the factory. But of course you're going to want to change this. There's really nothing wrong with leaving it as is, but since I'm putting this on the camera, obviously I want to change it. But it's always a best practice to make it a very unique and strong password and not use whatever's out of the factory. Even though it's unique, they don't use the same combination. It's just a best practice to do. Inside is a CD-ROM, which I probably won't use. I'll just connect and take care of it using the browser. So it says open a web browser to launch the setup instructions. That's probably all I'll do. I don't think I'll bother with the CD-ROM. It tells you here not to put anything on top of the router for overheating purposes. So like I said earlier, they got rid of the fan, which is a definite positive, but for cooling purposes, you definitely don't want to put anything on top of the router now. You really didn't beforehand either. It's never a good idea to put anything on top of electronics, especially where heat will be coming out, where it's going to vent out. Alright, so also in the box here, let me tilt this, if I can adjust this a bit. Also in the box, there are the 4 antennas. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's empty. Oh, there's more in the box. Let's see. We have Ethernet cable, and it's, wow, this is cool. It's a flat cable, and you know, Linksys could throw in any just generic cable. It's actually a really nice thin flat cable, which is cool. I like that. And also, the box is now empty. I'll put that to the side. Also is a power brick, which actually isn't too big. Not bad at all, actually. So we have the power brick. We have 4 antennas, which look to be all the same, which is good. It's a pain in the butt when the antennas are specific to each side and stuff. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but not a huge pain in the butt. But let's take a look at the actual router. This is what I'm like super excited about, is this classic blue Linksys router. Let's put this power brick to the side for right now. On the front here, we see it says Linksys WRT1900ACS. Internet, 2.4 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz, eSATA, USB, it says USB 1 and 2, and there's the 4 LAN ports here. So it's giving you all that up front. There's LEDs for that. On the side, we have an antenna, and I'm just going to screw on the antennas as I go around here because they look to be the same. I don't think I'm making a mistake by just screwing these on. So you don't want to, I'm screwing it on by holding the antenna. But once you get a little resistance, you don't want to do that anymore. You want to just go down here and do that. Turn that a little bit. We'll fold that up. Okay. Let's see. Take a look at the back. So on the back, we have 2 antenna ports to connect 2 more antennas. We have a power port, the power switch, and the power port, a reset button. It's a USB 2.0/eSATA connector. USB 3.0 connector. So on the front with the LED is USB 2.0 port is USB 1. The USB 3.0 port is USB 2. It's a little confusing, but it's just numbering them 1 and 2. I would prefer on the front to say USB 3 and 3.0 and USB 2.0. That would be my preference. Here is the WAN port, which says Internet, and 4 LAN ports. There's a WPS switch here for easy connections. So we'll go ahead and continue screwing on. Like I said, I screw it on holding on to the antenna. But once I get a little bit of resistance, I then go down to the threaded part and actually use that, because you don't want to break the antenna. It's really not meant to be screwed on that way, but it's just easier and quicker. Okay, got a little resistance there. Turn this around. Okay, so there's 2, 3 antennas, and 1 more here. Now, there's a lot of routers on the market nowadays that have like 6 antennas and 8 antennas and all these crazy number of antennas, which is which is fine for a performance standpoint. However, let's look at this now with the antennas on here. However, someone like myself, my router is in my living room. Do you mind if I put you to the side, C3PO? You mind a little bit? Okay. So, someone like me, I usually put this like on my entertainment center behind my TV. So if the antennas come out too far up to the front, it's hard to kind of position. By having this free space up here with no antennas, I can kind of stick this underneath the TV with the, like imagine if my TV is here, it can kind of stick a little bit underneath the TV. It's convenient not to have a ton of antennas because it makes it hard to position nicely. Linksys has done a wonderful job here. The blue color stands out a bit, and again, I'm putting this in the living room, so I want it to fit in the living room without being an eyesore. This color is so iconic, and the design is just so iconic and beautiful. I'm okay with having a blue router in my living room. No other company would I accept that from. I wouldn't buy a blue router from, and I love other companies. I love D-Link, I love Netgear. If they shipped a blue router, I would probably say, hey, I don't want a blue router in my living room. Because it's Linksys and because it's kind of like a throwback, iconic design, I'm willing to accept it, and this will go proudly in my living room where I will hook it up tonight and get busy with it. The big selling point, like I said, besides the amazing tech specs, like I said, it has a huge... It has a really fast processor, a ton of RAM, but it's open source friendly, so I can flash some alternative firmwares here, really get into some tweaking and make it really secure and great. I think this is going to be a home run, so I'm really excited about this router. Once again, I just want to read the model number to you guys. This is the Linksys WRT1900ACS. And again, there's two models. There's the AC and now the ACS. You definitely want to get the ACS because believe it or not, the ACS is superior. It's faster. It doesn't have a fan, so it's silent. But actually, it's even less expensive than the model it's replacing. So not only has Linksys made it a better router, it's faster, it's silent, it has a lot better specs. But now it's actually cheaper too, less expensive, I should say. So just a really, really beautiful router, a nice router. I can't wait to play with it, flash some cool firmware to it. Just have fun. That's the important thing with technology. If you're kind of a nerd or a tech geek like me, you'll enjoy hooking up a router and playing with it and tweaking it. And that's the fun thing here. And this particular router is designed for someone who has fun flashing alternative firmwares, playing around with their router. If you just want to plug in a router and just have it work well, it'll be great for that too, of course. But if you like to tinker, this is the guy to get. This is the one. So thumbs up, Linksys. You've done a great job. It's a beautiful router. The specs are there. Everything, it's hitting all the points that it should. So we will review this for betanews.com, where I'll be hooking this up to my home network, and of course I have to test it out first before we review it, but I will be testing this in my house for a little while, and then we will review it. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer any questions that you may have. I'll let you know if you have any questions about which firmwares I'm going to flash or this or that. Definitely let me know. But open source friendly, y'all. Very cool. Thank you, Linksys. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.